today's video is going to be another like little tarot chat, plus talking about this new thing I'm starting with weekly deck selections. You have the pleasure of seeing my husky sleeping down on the floor there, so you're welcome for that. But today, so it's just going to be a little update on what's going on with me and yeah, what I've decided to kind of change up in my tarot practice. I've got Snapple today as my drink of choice, and the little fact is squirrels lose more than half of the nuts they hide. So I have had a lot of time off of work. I took the weekend off, and so I don't work during the week, so I had full weekend, and then this full week off, and then I'll be back this coming weekend to work. So it's been really nice to have this time off. I was feeling really affected by the full moon in Capricorn that we had recently, and so I'm kind of glad that I wasn't having to work during that, because it was really affecting me. Like I thought I would be spending a lot more of my time being productive and doing more, but I ended up just resting a lot of that time, and I think that's okay too, but I'm starting to feel that kind of energy fading away, which I'm very grateful for because it was really intense. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a really wonderful week as well. So we're going to talk about some new tarot stuff and what I'm going to be doing. So I was very inspired by previously Adventures in Metaphysics. Her name's Krista. I think her new channel name's Tarot, Crochet Witch Tarot. I'm just going to look that up to confirm because I don't want to say the wrong channel name. Yeah, so the new channel is Crochet Witch Tarot. So, she does these videos every week where she does weekly deck selections, and then the following week she'll talk about her experiences with those decks and then what she's going to be using for that upcoming week, which I think is a really smart idea. And it never appealed to me to do that in the past, but I think I've been feeling a lot of overwhelm again with just my collection and wanting to use a bunch of decks and wanting to have close relationships with a lot of my decks, and just feeling like I don't have the time to do that. You guys know I was doing that. I was doing Green Wednesdays, where I was doing like a very green inspired reading every week on Wednesdays, and I grew kind of tired of using those same decks over and over. I felt like I got to have a relationship with all those decks and really learn from those decks, but I got tired of using the same things every week, so I kind of put that to the side, and I haven't had like a weekly practice like that to take that over. So I thought I would do this because I am not somebody who does daily readings for myself, and I want that to change. I want to start doing tarot more mindfully every day, to push myself to learn more, to look more into myself and things like that, and to connect with my decks more on a daily basis. So that is something that I'm starting, because before, kind of using one deck a week or whatever wasn't really appealing to me, because I would just read tarot whenever I felt like it wasn't really like a daily practice. So I have 3 tarot decks and 2 oracle decks that I'm going to be focusing on this week, and 2 of them are like pairs. I've been really into pairing tarot and oracle and having like these little matches lately, which has been really fun. And obviously there's going to be some exceptions to this rule. So I have my regular Rider-Waite. Let me grab it quickly. Yeah, I have this, which is my special Rider-Waite baby that I can't part with. And this is still going to be in use for clients. I do have some client readings I have to film, so that is what this is going to be used for. I don't normally take this deck out for myself. I use it a lot for like inquisitive readings about situations involving other people, or in using it for clients. So this is still going to be in use, as well as like my main decks I use for specific reasons. Like I have my Moonology deck over there that I use for every new and full moon without fail, and I have my Sacred Cycles, which I use every month for my monthly cycles. And there's a few others over there that I use for specific reasons. So those are still going to stay in the rotation. These are just going to be for like a daily pool situation. And I'm going to push myself to ask questions and try to look at specific things that I want answers to, because I find myself kind of falling into the rut of just doing general kind of readings for myself and seeing what the cards have to say to me. I don't usually ask specific questions. Now I do for my new and full moon readings. I'll have like a theme of what I kind of want the cards to speak to me about. But when I'm just sitting down to kind of do impromptu reading, I usually just will see what the cards have to say to me. And so I'm going to try to specifically have questions or something that I want insight into. So to help me with that, I have 1001 Tarot Spreads. This is a new book to me. It is by Cassandra Eason. I have quite a few books by her, and I enjoy the way that she writes. This is a massive book. I mean, it has 1001 tarot spreads, and they're very specific. Like, I'll just read you a few. It says, for a successful major family reunion or a large-scale family holiday. So that's one of the spreads in here. When family meal times are either a battleground or a non-existent event. So there's very specific kind of spreads in here, which I enjoy. They also have more... There are broader ones in here. What strategy should I use? What is my greatest challenge in this situation? Card of the day. Will I pass my exam? Is this person trustworthy? How long before I sell my home? Has so-and-so left my life forever? And there's a lot to do with spirituality and astrology towards the back of the book. So I'm going to have fun playing with these to have kind of a specific spread, because spreads is not something, again, that I dabble with too much. I feel like I read the cards very organically, and I can just kind of feel energetically which card is the kind of problem in the situation. I don't read with reversals either, so it's very energy based for me. Like, I feel like I can look at this, you know, how I have the cards and what's around them and kind of figure out what the issue is and what, you know, the solution is in kind of a spread, but I don't assign certain meanings to certain cards. That's just not how I've personally read so far. So I think doing cool spreads like this will be really fun for me and something different. So let's get into the actual cards, because I've been rambling. So the first deck that I want to dive deep with this week is the Druid Craft. I feel like I've kind of, there's nudity by the way, I feel like I've kind of put this deck on the back burner. I mean, I've had a lot of snafus with the, I'm trying to do it, it's like washing it out. There we go. I feel like I've had a lot of snafus with the modification of this deck, and it's just caused me to stray away from using it because it's so thick, and you know, the cardstock isn't easy to shuffle now because I've rebacked it and all that. I feel like that's not fair to the deck. I've found myself kind of falling into using decks that only are easy to shuffle or whatever. But I was playing around with this deck a little last night, and if I found that if I split it in half and then riffle shuffle the two halves, that it shuffles fine. It's just a more mindful kind of an experience. You have to think about how you're going to shuffle the deck. It's not just an easy kind of thing, and I think that'll actually lend itself nicely to the experience. And I'm excited to work with this deck because I've always read with this deck very easily, very intuitively. But I wanted to play with the book this week. So any reading I do for myself, I want to read the meanings of the book because I have not read any of this so far. So I'm excited to dive into this because I've heard that it's a really, really good book. So I'm really excited to use Druid Craft. I mean, it's just a beautiful pagan deck. It's very Rider-Waite based. It's easy to read without using the book, but I want to dive deeper. And I'm sorry if you can't see the cards that well. If I get too close, it'll like wash it out because it's near the window. It's like the Three of Wands. I have trimmed all of the titles off. 5 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 2 of Cups, Judgment, 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, 5 of Swords. So a really gorgeous deck. And then I wanted to have like a specific pairing with this deck. So I got out my Mists of Avalon Oracle. This is a deck that feels very sacred to me and very potent, and I only pull it out once in a while, but I feel like because I've kind of put it on that pedestal, I've neglected it. So yeah, I mean, look at the backs, brown, and I think these will look just stunning together. So I'll show you these together. Just beautiful. This is such a stunningly beautiful deck, the way it's illustrated, and I'm really excited. I think these will work together really well. Look, we have Ceridwen, and we have, this is Temperance, Rebirth, Creativity. I mean, those go so well together. We have the Tower with Life Direction, Fate, Karma. I mean, how perfect can you get? 3 of Swords with Acceptance, Beauty, and Motherhood. And what's this down here? Feminine Power. So I'm really excited to use these two together. Look, we have King Arthur with Leadership, Power, Authority, and the Fool. I don't know, I feel like they look similar. Like this could be like the beginning of his journey, and this is kind of like later on. I don't know. I think they're really, really beautiful together. I think even if you have the, maybe even it would go together, it would go together even better if you had the untrimmed version with the green edges, because this has green edges on it. So yeah, that is something I plan to do in the future, is to kind of redo my trim job and my mod job on this deck. But in the meantime, I still want to continue to use it. So we have Druid Craft paired with Mists of Avalon, which I think is going to be a really beautiful pairing. I love kind of mixing and matching decks in my collection that I already have, that I didn't really specifically buy to put together, and finding new pairings. That's been really fun for me lately. Something new I've been doing. So next deck we're going to talk about is one that I didn't bring in a pairing for. So this is Crimson Hysteria. I wasn't going to bring her into the rotation this week, but I just can't put this deck down. And I did find a beautiful pairing for this deck with the Seasons of the Witch Samhain, but I didn't want to have too many decks this week, so I decided to just bring in this one by itself. This is a beautifully stunning deck. She's very new to my collection. It's all red artwork. King of Pentacles. Can't read it. This is the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Page of Pentacles. No, Four of Pentacles. I can't even read in there. Ace of Wands. Justice. Five of Swords. Four of Swords. Three of Wands. I'm not familiar with this deck yet, so I can't quite tell what they are. Eight of Swords. Eight of Wands. So as you can see, I mean, this deck is just breathtakingly beautiful. It's potent. It feels witchy and magical. And so this might be like a separate kind of a pull. So while I kind of will do a specific spread and reading with my pairs that I picked for the week, I feel like this will just be a separate kind of reading that I do every day as well. I've been loving to do that with this deck. I have a card right here. I have Queen of Pentacles leaning up against my candle here as kind of like just an energy to focus on when I'm sitting here. So really beautiful deck. Didn't want to stop using it. Like, I haven't put it down since I got it. Alright, so the next and last pair I have is the Halloween Oracle and the Antique Anatomy Tarot. So let's talk about the tarot for a minute. So this is the newest deck in my collection. I got it only a few days ago. I got it on Saturday and it's Monday. So only like 2 days I've had it, but holy crap, you guys. So if you saw my monthly kind of reflections and favorites, I haven't been able to put Pagan Otherworlds down, and I had to do it for this little experiment I'm trying. But I realized how much I really crave like that pip deck kind of an energy, which is not something I thought I would ever say because I really do like fully illustrated minors. I do. But I guess lately I've just been really wanting that room to kind of roam and not have it so boxed into an image. And the Pagan Otherworlds has just been amazing. And so I decided to pick up Antique Anatomy because the imagery is something I'm attracted to, but I wasn't super into pip decks. And that was also partly because, you know, I wasn't so well versed in tarot as I am now. And I can't stop playing with this deck and looking at it. That's the Wheel of Fortune. We have the 10 of Rods or Wands. 2 of Wands. So as you can see, it's very pippish. This is the Lovers. Ace of Elixirs, which are the cups. I mean, look how pretty that is. The Devil. 5 of Coins. I mean, I can't put it down. It's so pretty. It reminds me of like Halloween and everything I love. But it also has like a summery kind of feel to it. I mean, I see myself working with this all year round, but the botanicals in it do bring like a summery, you know, you can look at it as a summery thing. And then the creepiness brings in like a fall, winter type of a vibe as well. So I can't put this down. So I think this is the one that's going to kind of steal the show this week. I mean, I'll update you guys next week to see like which ones I really use the most. I'm not going to kind of force myself to use one pairing and then the following pairing the next day or anything like that. So yeah, we'll see. And if I want to continue working with the decks the following week, I'm not going to deprive myself of that. Like I'm not going to force myself to use other decks when I'm wanting to use these decks or, you know, whatever. So Halloween Oracle is one of my favorite oracles. This is such a good oracle all year round. I find myself kind of saving it for Halloween because I know it's so beautiful and I love to have that full experience with it being Halloween and having that magic kind of amplify the deck. but it's beautiful either way. And I started to play with these two together, and they sing to each other, like they speak. So this is the star with apple, risk and reward. I mean, they look really good together. So this is the 9 of Swords with community and web weaving. We have the Queen of Pentacles, wise seeing, wise action. We have the 6 of Wands with infinite possibilities. We have the Sun with synergy and healing. I mean, how beautiful is that? The Chariot with emotional intelligence. We have the 9 of Coins with joy. I mean, come on. Perfect. So I think these are going to give me some really potent readings and give me a chance to work with the Halloween tarot, because I've been feeling those Halloween autumn vibes, even though it's like the middle of summer and it's hot here. Something with like the rainy weather, it just kind of, I just want to skip it. I had like this spring, like happy, like forest fairy kind of a vibe going on at the beginning of spring, but I haven't brought out like mermaid decks or anything with the water. I haven't been feeling that energy. I've just been feeling that Halloween, autumn, kind of end of summer, beginning of fall kind of a feeling. I know it's early, but that's just the vibe. And this will give me a chance to work with this to kind of help with those feelings. And then I can, you know, really work with it a lot in October. But oh my gosh, look at this Hermit. It's so pretty. Guys, I've been finding a lot of decks lately that I've just been so into, and I feel like this will just help me kind of reinforce those relationships with my decks that I really love, and kind of put in perspective the ones that I don't love so much, and maybe it'll prompt another declutter. I don't know. I've kind of strayed away from doing declutters as a whole. I mean, I've done like one big one and I felt a lot lighter after that, but I find myself kind of going through phases and wanting different things at different times. So that's why I'm a little afraid to do a big declutter like that. And I keep most of my decks up here on my shelf, like majority of the ones that I don't even touch. But I don't want to get rid of them yet. And then I keep all the ones that I'm kind of interested in and I work with regularly on this shelf over here that's easily accessible to me. And I did switch out a bunch of them from this shelf, you know, swapped. So yes. So another thing quickly before I go that I wanted to push myself to do with these readings is to study astrology with it and the correspondences to the tarot, because that's something I'm not well versed in, and astrology has just been kind of like the theme this year of what I want to learn. And it wasn't the plan, if you guys watched my depth year plans, it wasn't the plan to dive deep with astrology this year, but that's just what's been keeping my attention. So with each card and with the Antique Anatomy, they actually give you the astrological association for each card, which is really helpful. And I want to study. So I have my Heavenly Bodies Astrology. This is a guidebook for another deck, but I think it's really well written and I think it'll help me. So I'm going to research in there, as well as this book. This is the In Focus Astrology, or personal guide. I really enjoy the tarot deck from this same like series. So I'm going to use this to kind of learn and dabble in the astrology of the cards that I'm using. And I think that will just help me add another layer and just kind of curb that like wanting to learn thing, because that's not something I've been really focusing on too much lately, is like wanting to learn a lot of new stuff. So that'll help me get out of that. So yes. So that's my little tarot chat slash like weekly selections. I'm going to try to do these weekly, guys. My internet is just horrific lately. Like my favorites video, I filmed that like on the 5th of July or something. It was like early in the month, and it didn't upload for like 10 days. Like, I was having so many issues. It went up like just a few days ago, and then like the month's already half over. Like, I was just having so many issues with uploading. So hopefully that's over with, because if not, it'll take me like so long to upload. And I want to kind of do these every Monday or so, because that's like after I work, I have Monday off, and that'll be like a new start to my week, I guess. So yes, let me know if this is something that you guys do, or if you're interested in doing something like this and like your experiences with it. I would love to know. I've missed you guys. I haven't sat down to film a video in a while. I have quite a few tags planned that I want to do VRs to. I have one that I actually made up myself. So yes. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a magical rest of your week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.